Gout Gout just broke his silence again, and this time the news is worse than anyone expected. He already lost his shot at gold. Now he's losing something even bigger. The teenager who ran faster than Usain Bolt is watching his whole season fall apart, piece by piece. Here's exactly what happened, and why this changes everything for him. Gout Gout was flying high just weeks ago. He was the name every track fan couldn't stop talking about. Then one night in Brisbane, everything changed. He was training like normal, nothing seemed wrong. But partway through the session, he felt something in his left leg. It was his hamstring, and it wasn't a small tweak. It was serious. The next morning, he got his MRI results back. He shared the news himself, straight from his phone. He said the report was not good. He said he would not be able to compete at the World Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon. That alone would be heartbreaking for any athlete. But this wasn't just a normal injury. Doctors found a grade 3 tear in his hamstring tendon. That is one of the most serious muscle injuries in sports. It means part of the tendon actually tore apart. The damage covered less than 10% of the tendon's width. But here's the part that shocked people. It stretched across 8 full centimeters in length. That is a long tear for a muscle that's small. Experts call this a grade 3C injury, which usually needs months of rest and rehab before an athlete can even think about running at full speed again. Gout didn't hide from the truth. He posted the exact medical wording from his scan report. He wrote about the partial disruption of the tendon, the exact percentage of damage, and the exact length of the tear. He wanted fans to understand exactly what he was dealing with. That takes guts. A lot of athletes soften the news or let their team handle the details. He didn't. He laid it all out himself, in his own words, on his own page. He wrote that he was very disappointed. He said he had no choice but to accept what happened. He also said something that stuck with fans. He said this is part of being an athlete. Injuries happen. Nobody is safe from them, no matter how talented they are. Then he said something that gave people hope. He promised to come back stronger, faster, and better prepared. But that comeback won't happen this year. His entire 2026 season is done. Finished. Over. Now here is where the story gets worse. Before this injury, Gout made a big decision. He chose to skip the Commonwealth Games completely. That is a massive event. Skipping it is not something athletes do lightly, but he had a reason. He wanted to save his energy and focus everything on winning gold at the World Under-20 Championships instead. Think about that for a second. He gave up one major competition to chase an even bigger prize. And now, because of this injury, he doesn't get either one. Not the Commonwealth Games, not the World Under-20 title. Both chances are gone in the same breath. That is the real gut punch here. This isn't just about missing one race. It's about losing 2 major opportunities that he can never get back. Those moments don't wait around. They happen once, and then they're gone. A young athlete only gets so many chances to compete at the under-20 level before he ages out completely. So every missed championship is a door that closes and never opens again in quite the same way. To understand how big this loss really is, you need to know what kind of season he was having. Back in April, Gout did something incredible. At the Australian Championships, he broke the under-20 200-meter world record. His time was 19.67 seconds. To put that in perspective, Usain Bolt, the greatest sprinter of all time, ran 19.93 seconds at the same age. Gout was faster. At 18 years old, he beat one of Bolt's own teenage marks. He also broke the previous under-20 record, which belonged to American sprinter Erriyon Knighton. Gout took that record and made it his own. But he didn't stop there. That same month, he also won his second national under-20 title in the 100 meters. 2 major wins in one season. He was building something special. Then in June, he added another achievement. At a meet in Ostrava, Czechia, he set the Australian record in the 150 meters, running 14.97 seconds. That came just days after a rougher outing at a Diamond League meet in Oslo, where his performance wasn't his best. But he bounced right back with that Czech Republic record. That shows real mental toughness. This was a young athlete putting together one of the best seasons anyone had seen from a teenager in years. Fans were excited. Experts were watching closely. Many believed he was on track to become the next global superstar in sprinting. People compared him to Bolt not just because of the times, but because of how easily he seemed to run. His stride looked smooth. His confidence looked natural. That combination is rare, and it's part of why so many people were paying attention to his season in the first place. And now all of that momentum has come to a stop. Here's another piece of this story that makes it sting even more. While Gout was dealing with this injury, another young sprinter was rising fast. His name is Tate Taylor, an 18-year-old from the United States. Taylor had a massive moment at the Prefontaine Classic. He beat Olympic champion Letsail Tebogo in the 200 meters. That is a huge win for any sprinter, let alone a teenager. It instantly made Taylor one of the favorites heading into the World Under-20 Championships. Fans were hoping for a showdown between Gout and Taylor in Eugene. Two of the fastest teenagers on the planet going head-to-head, fighting for the world title. That matchup could have been one of the most exciting races of the year. It had everything people love in sports. Two young stars, two different countries, and a rivalry building in real time. Now, because of the injury, that race will never happen. Taylor will compete without his biggest rival standing across the track from him. Some might say that makes his path to the title easier. Others say it takes away from the meaning of the win, since he never got to prove himself against the fastest teenager in the world. Either way, fans are left wondering what could have been, and that question might follow both athletes for years. Support for Gout has poured in from all over the sport. Australian Athletics released a statement backing him fully. Officials called his rise phenomenal and said he still has a long, exciting career ahead of him. They reminded fans that injuries are part of the sport and that healing properly matters more than rushing back too soon. That message matters because grade 3 hamstring tears are not something to rush. These injuries often take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and sometimes even longer, before an athlete is ready to compete at full speed again. Coming back too early could risk tearing the same muscle even worse the second time. It could threaten his entire career, not just one season. So while missing this year hurts, taking the time to heal the right way is the smarter long-term move. Even if it feels painful right now, Gout has already set his sights on the future. He's aiming to return in 2027 fully healed and ready to compete at the highest level again. That could include a major world championship appearance down the road, giving him a real chance to prove this setback was only temporary. For now, though, the story is a hard one. A young athlete who was breaking records and turning heads is forced to sit on the sidelines and watch the season continue without him. He lost the Commonwealth Games. He lost the World Under-20 title chance. He lost the showdown fans were dying to see. Every race that happens this season will happen without him in the field, and that is a strange, uncomfortable position for someone who was used to being the center of attention. But he hasn't lost his talent. He hasn't lost his drive. And based on everything he's said since the injury, he hasn't lost his belief that he'll come back even better than before. The real question now is simple. When Gout Gout does return to the track, will he pick up right where he left off? Or will this injury change the way he approaches the sport forever? Only time will answer that. But one thing is certain, the track world will be watching closely when he steps back onto that track again. Let us know what you think his comeback will look like. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.